often talk about keeping our fitness and nutrition pursuits holy and eternal. And today I want to talk about one of the ways I believe we can do that, and that is with fasting and feasting. Specifically, fasting from food, and feasting, I would call it Sabbath, but because on this video I'm talking specifically about food, I like to use the word feasting. So I believe that as we are pursuing health, there's a beautiful place, a very spiritual place, and a holy place in that pursuit for fasting and feasting. And so I just want to ask a few questions to help you consider how you might fast and how you might feast. I would love to bring this into people I'm coaching, but I also believe that any person, anyone who comes across this video can consider how you might fast from food specifically, and how you might feast and maybe practice Sabbath, and what does that look like with food specifically. So let's just jump in. Fasting in the Bible, almost every time, I actually think I can say every time fasting is mentioned, it's talking about fasting from food. Nowadays, we like to talk about fasting, and I think churches will even have a fast, and they invite people to fast from anything. And I just believe that fasting is about food. I do believe there's a great time to abstain from things like social media or TV or different things on our phones and other taking a break, shopping, spending money, different things like that. Those are great ways we can abstain, and I think that's great to do that. But I am very passionate about fasting for food. I believe that our bodies are an important part of who we are. Our bodies, I believe, are very spiritual, and that we're to honor God with our bodies. We're to honor God with how we eat. And there's something very unique about fasting. So that's kind of like my big disclaimer, and I want you to know that I'm talking about food here. If you have an unhealthy relationship with food, then part of how you might go on this journey would be to see if it's possible to restore a healthy relationship with food. So I just want to put that out there too. If you have an unhealthy relationship with food and feel like you cannot fast, then pursue that with some good professional help. I recommend a counselor, and specifically a counselor that can help you with the eating disorder. But for most of us, I believe that fasting is beautiful. So as you are considering how you eat, whether I'm coaching you or you just came across this video, here's a good question. What's one thing that you should give up during this season? And I say this season because I don't know how you're finding this video, when you're finding this video. It could be, what is one thing you should or could give up during Lent? That's a season. Could be, you're doing coaching with me. What is one thing you should or could give up during coaching? Or it could be during, I would say, a specific time frame. And so think of that. When you're considering the should, I encourage you to maybe give up something that's mastering you. Maybe give up something that you just love because you want to deny yourself of that one thing to pursue a deeper, more weighty thing, something you're praying for in your life or someone else's life. So it doesn't only have to be give up something that has control over you. It could be give up something really good because it's like, man, Jesus, I need this more. And as along those lines, what is it that you can add? So when you're fasting and you're giving up something, could be giving up a meal, could be giving up this one specific type of food, could be giving up snacking. There's so many ways we could do it. But how can you add something? And I encourage you to specifically add prayer. So for example, if you give up lunchtime, maybe during that lunchtime when you would normally be eating, you could spend some time in prayer. Maybe you could spend some time reading about something. And I don't want to be too directive here because I really believe sit with the Holy Spirit, sit with the Lord, and let the Lord lead you. But I do believe prayer is a good thing to add when we're fasting for something. So the other question is, what does your fast look like? It could be that you give up one meal. It could be that you give up a certain amount of time. It could be that you give up a day or a half a day. Sit with the Lord with that and ask God. Many people fast physically these days, maybe for weight loss or fat loss, or just to have some discipline in their lives, or they feel better. They feel like their mind's sharp and focused, and there are some great physical benefits of fasting. I know them, I've experienced them, but I do, as a believer, when I'm fasting, my fasts are primarily spiritual. I don't think there's anything wrong with a physical fast. But I just want to encourage you, if you've not been fasting unto the Lord in a spiritual way, it's such a beautiful discipline, and it's very mysterious. I can't explain or promise results, but one thing I know is it's like a battle. I think the enemy comes after me every time I fast, and it's a battle where I feel I'm at war for something, and maybe that's something I'm warring with my body. And maybe it's something I'm fighting and praying for my family or for other people or corporately, all kinds of things. But I encourage you to fast spiritually. I will talk more about fasting in a different video. But that's my little introduction and an invitation for you to fast. Now let's talk about feasting. Feasting. I have come to know and experience and love the benefit of practicing Sabbath regularly. So I actually have already made a video on Sabbath. I'm going to put it below this video. You can go watch that video. And I'm calling you, if you're watching this in a coaching context, I'm inviting you to consider how you can feast. So whether you practice Sabbath or not, I want you to have some way of feasting during our coaching time. If you're just coming across this video and you're like, what in the world is feasting? I really love and encourage you to pray about Sabbath. What is Sabbath? Go learn about it with the video that I share, but in so many other wonderful resources. Practicing Sabbath is so good. But for this video and these purposes, I want to talk about feasting and give you a few questions that you can consider. So this is different than just giving up something that you love. This is maybe keeping something that you really love. So my question is, what is your favorite thing that you want to keep? Specifically in eating, as we do coaching together, or just make sure that if you have all these guidelines and different things with food, keep something in there that's a little bit of feasting. This is not licensed to go crazy and have a cheat day. I don't even love those words, but it's an intentional something that you enjoy, and I believe that can help you go about pursuing health and eating in a good, right way. I'm putting that in air quotes because that is defined differently for every person, but keep something that's your favorite. And another invitation would be, it's kind of along the lines of Sabbath, but when I am leading people in workouts and talking about nutrition, I really want you to have a whole day of rest. This is not licensed to just go crazy and binge eat and eat any and everything you want or in sight. It's not. But it is, have a day that you're not paying attention to what you eat, or you're paying attention and you're feasting and you're celebrating. When I think about Sabbath and the way I practice Sabbath, I focus on gratitude. I focus on what is going right. I focus on just rest and enjoying the day, enjoying the meal, celebrating. Usually want to do this with other people, enjoy. And so how can you feast while we're going through this coaching time? How could you feast in your everyday practices? Would you invite some kind of Sabbath practice, or at least a day of rest? And that includes your nutrition. So as I finish up this video, I want to read all these verses, and then I'll highlight 2 verses at the end. This is from Isaiah 58. Is not this the fast I choose? A day for a person to humble himself? Is it not to bow down his head like a reed and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Will you call this a fast and a day acceptable to the Lord? Now he changes gears. Is this not the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of the wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and bring the homeless poor into your home? When you see the naked, to cover him, and to not hide yourself from your own flesh? Then shall your light break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up speedily. Your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard, and you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry, and he will say, Here I am. If you take away the yoke from your midst, the pointing of the finger and speaking wickedness, if you pour yourself out for the hungry and satisfy the desire of the afflicted, then shall your light rise in the darkness, and your gloom be as the noonday. And the Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your desire in scorched places and make your bones strong. You shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. And your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. You shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to dwell in. And we'll change gears more towards Sabbath. This is verse 13. If you turn back your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure means business on my holy day, call the Sabbath a delight and the holy day of the Lord honorable. If you honor it, not going your own ways or seeking your own pleasure or business or talking idly, and then you shall take delight in the Lord, and I will make you ride on the heights of the earth. I will feed you with the heritage of Jacob your father, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. To highlight just a few things, verse 6 talks about freedom. Loose the bonds of wickedness, undo the straps of the yoke, let the oppressed go free, break every yoke. Maybe we can fast for freedom. I also love how it talks about fasting to share our bread. In some ways, may your fast include another. It's okay to fast for yourself, but consider others as you're doing this. And then Sabbath, verse 13. Call the Sabbath a delight and the holy day of the Lord honorable. So as you're considering this, I hope that your fasting might lead you to freedom. I hope that your feasting and your Sabbath will be such a delight. I do believe this is a holy way to pursue the Lord in how we eat and how we also fast from eating. Blessings on your fasting and feasting.